CTV News with Maya Johnson.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. The Crown Prosecutor's Office has suspended proceedings in the case involving 11 teenagers who were with a South Shore teen on the day he was killed by Longueuil police. Montreal police arrested the teens in June after Quebec's police watchdog asked the force to investigate the events leading up to Nouran Rezai's death. The charges included conspiracy to kidnap, concealing their identity, and unlawful assembly. Today, the Crown revealed new evidence has come to light in the past month and a half, and a complex legal issue was raised, leading to the stay of proceedings. We'll have more on this case coming up on CTV News at 6. Canadian and American negotiators are both saying they're happy with a deal worked out to minimize the 50% tariffs that Donald Trump was planning to impose on Canadian exports to the U.S. Sources tell CTV News there will be reductions in tariffs on steel and aluminum. One concern, though, is dairy, and while Trump says tariffs on dairy from the U.S. to Canada are being, quote, eviscerated, Canadian Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc says supply management is entirely intact. Meantime, Quebec Premier Christine Fréchette says she's waiting for more details.
What we know is that negotiations are still going on, and we need to have all the information before establishing our position. What businesses need is confidence and stability and predictability. And we are asking the federal government to work for a reduction of the tariffs that are being applied. And we also avoid any new tariffs, and also make sure that there is a review of the agreement we have in order to give stability.
Montreal's Chamber of Commerce also reacted to the tariff news today as it put out its wish list for the upcoming election. One of its priorities is to reverse a controversial CAQ decision. Kelly Gregg explains.
It's the talk of the business world, an uncertain future with an unpredictable U.S. president.
Those protective approach in USA is probably there to stay. So it is for us, you know, we've said it was a wake-up call.
The Montreal Chamber of Commerce's so-called Livre Blanc starts by showing just how loud those alarm bells are. It shows the Global Uncertainty Index, which measures economic doubts worldwide. That peaked in January 2025 when Donald Trump took office. It's in that context that the Chamber is preparing for the upcoming provincial election. Priority 1 is cut down on bureaucracy.
We are right now one of the worst places in terms of jurisdiction where to open new business in terms of regulation.
The Chamber says small businesses spend more than $40,000 per year filling out government paperwork.
Putting the same information all the time. So what we're saying is once is enough.
And that eye towards efficiency is extended to construction. It's calling for the creation of an independent oversight body to ensure infrastructure projects are on budget and on time.
So out of the electoral cycle, for example, you know, that can have a vision over 10 years.
Some of the projects it's supporting include modernizing Olympic Stadium, redeveloping the Hippodrome site, and updating IGA Stadium to ensure the National Bank Open stays in Montreal. The Chamber is also attacking a specific government policy. It wants the tuition hikes for out-of-province and international students to be scrapped. In February, McGill and Concordia gave up their legal battle over the fees.
I think that many of us are very sad and at some point angry about it, and that right now we should completely reverse how we see those jewels that are our universities.
It says now the uncertainty isn't just the economic situation, but who will be in power to navigate it. Kelly Gregg, CTV News.
Looking across the country, a Halifax man is facing new charges connected to a bomb threat made against the U.S. consulate. The 54-year-old man is now charged with threatening to endanger the life of an internationally protected person, in addition to uttering threats and mischief. Alberta Premier Danielle Smith acknowledges her province's referendum is being targeted by foreign interference campaigns. Russia and the United States are the main source of pro-independence propaganda. Alberta's vote on separation will be October 19th. Canada's largest grocery store chain has made a change in labeling where fruits and vegetables are coming from. Loblaw says it's removed country of origin information from price displays, and in many cases, that information is only available as a sticker on produce. We'll have more national news on CTV News at 5:30.
Weather brought to you by Gratianscaf. Second pair is a gift event including designer frames. A second pair free for a limited time.
So, Lauren, the rain putting a damper on some evening plans for those who wanted to be outside.
Yeah, that's right. And it looks like we're still holding on to a slight chance of some showers for the next hour or so. Now, I want to share a viewer photo with you all because it really sets the tone for the day. This was shot this morning in LaSalle by one of our viewers, Gary Toth. And when we see a pink or red sky in the morning, as the expression goes, sailor's warning. So this is sort of what we laid out the plan for the day. And yes, we did see some periods of rain and the risk of thunderstorms. And once again, we do have a slight chance that we could be dealing with that for the next hour or so. In terms of our temperatures, we were on the cooler side today, 21 degrees compared to the seasonal 25. And with the humidex, it did give it a little bit of a bump, feeling like 27 at times right now. That's what it feels like. So that's when the humidex really kicks in. You can see the significant difference between 21 and 27, and you can feel it. Here's what we're forecasting overnight. This weather model is showing that we do see some clearing, but then the clouds move in after sunset. But when we pull up our futurecast, we can see that this is why we're still dealing with a slight risk of some showers and the potential of a thunderstorm. There is a system just south of Montreal, but it looks like we'll be in the clear. Tomorrow, we're looking at a mix of sun and clouds, and we will see a daytime high of 24 degrees, feeling like 27, mostly sunny for Friday, and a high of 26, feeling like 27. Saturday still looking great. I'll be back later with more weather details.
Coming up, a last-minute press conference and the transport minister demanding answers. What went wrong with the REM yet again? Plus, what the leader of the Quebec Liberals says he wants to do to improve public transit. The REM shut down again during the morning rush hour. Not once, but twice. Trains between Central Station and Brossard weren't operating when the REM opened at 5:30 a.m. this morning because of overnight maintenance issues. That shutdown eventually affected the entire network, forcing the evacuation of some trains. Full service resumed around 9:30, but there was another service interruption again about an hour later for a separate issue, and that prompted this post on social media from Quebec's transport minister demanding answers. The REM called an afternoon press conference to explain.
We had a second event this morning. That was a collision of a truck on one of the infrastructure at the entrance of Gare Centrale. That stopped the service again between Panama and Gare Centrale. That was out of our control. So we did what we were supposed to do in that case: inspection of the structure, inspection of the rails, and after that we resumed the service at 11:15, and we were expecting to have a normal service for this rush hour that is starting right now.
According to a tracking website, there have been 24 breakdowns on the light rail transit system over the past 3 months. Well, Charles Milliard is meeting with the mayors of Montreal and Laval today. He says if a Liberal government is elected in October, it will invest in public transit. But in a week where other party leaders are grabbing headlines, some wonder if Milliard is doing enough to get voters' attention. Matt Gilmore reports.
Emerging from a closed-door meeting inside Montreal City Hall, the Liberal leader Charles Milliard says he's taking note of the needs of Quebec's largest city, including modernizing the metro.
I reassured the mayor that I will be very active on that file, and we discuss other topics such as homelessness.
The pre-election campaign has been busy for Milliard's opponents. On Monday, Christine Frichette announced a major energy agreement in Churchill Falls. The next day, Paul Saint-Pierre Plamondon tried to steal back the spotlight by delaying plans for a third referendum until after Donald Trump leaves office.
So in all of that, where's Charles Milliard? Where are the Liberals? Honestly, they're nowhere. They're not part of the conversations.
Where the Liberals are is second in the polls, just 5 points behind the Parti Québécois. But according to Tom Mulcair, who is a former Liberal minister, Milliard is at risk of losing non-sovereigntist votes to a resurgent CAQ.
That divided vote could hand the keys to the National Assembly to Saint-Pierre Plamondon with barely 30% of the vote. And that's why people are taking a good hard look at who they're thinking of voting for.
Milliard believes this is still a two-horse race.
The CAQ, or Équipe Christine Fréchette, which is, by the way, the same thing, is trying to create, a lutte à trois, but from all the people that I've met in the past weeks and months, Quebecers are done with the CAQ.
But for this former Liberal strategist, the party needs to offer something more.
What precisely makes the situation dangerous for the Liberals is being the automatic choice of no voters is no longer enough. How can we identify exactly the reason why a Quebecer would vote for Charles Milliard? And this needs to be addressed.
The campaign is expected to officially begin sometime next week. But for the leaders vying to be Quebec's next premier, it appears to already be in full swing. Matt Gilmore, CTV News.
Health Canada is warning people not to use medical products sold by a store in Montreal North. Officials have seized contraceptives, antibiotics, and other items not approved for use in Canada, all sold at the Rabais 4 Saisons shop. Health Canada says the products haven't been tested for safety or effectiveness and aren't labeled in English and French. Some of the drugs seized aren't approved for use in humans, while others should only be used when prescribed by a doctor. Up next, after making an impact with the Montreal Impact, a longtime professional soccer player is getting a special honor. CF Montreal will be inducting Lloyd Barker to its Hall of Fame this weekend. Its Wall of Fame, I should say. Barker was a star player for the team when it was called the Montreal Impact. He played in the club's inaugural game and was one of 4 club members to have won both the 1994 and 2004 championships, among many other accomplishments. And so he will be inducted at the halftime ceremony during a match against the LA Galaxy on Saturday at Saputo Stadium. And I am so happy to welcome him now. Lloyd Barker, good to see you again.
Nice to see you, Maya. Thanks for having me.
Of course. I mean, I should point out that you may be a familiar face to some of our longtime viewers, of course, because you used to appear in a sports segment called Added Time on our airwaves. Remember that? Good old time?
I sure do. I can never forget it. Very memorable days. I loved every minute of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, you were a star player for the team, as I mentioned, when it was called the Montreal Impact, now CF Montreal. These days, you're the sporting director for the Nepean Hotspur Soccer Club in Ottawa. So how does it feel to be coming back to Montreal to accept this honor?
Oh my! I mean, it's I got the call July 19th. July 17th, and it's been just an emotional roller coaster because it's just, this is an accolade and a recognition that it far outweighs an individual award like an MVP or maybe a man of the match. I'll go as far as to say maybe even a championship, which is what the ultimate team goal is. It's extremely, extremely special for me. It's really touching that I get this honor and I get to come back and be recognized in front of all those beautiful fans.
Yeah, I can only imagine. And you've come a really long way. I mean, quite literally. You were born in Kingston, Jamaica. You came to Canada at 13. By 17, you were playing professional soccer for the Canadian Soccer League with the Ottawa Intrepid. So was playing professional soccer always a part of your game plan?
No, to be honest, it was really, growing up in Jamaica, my house was about 150 meters from the football field. And so it's all I knew, it's really all I knew, that and track and field. And so I just aspired to grow big muscles like the men that were playing on the senior team. The fact that I was able to come to Canada at 13 and discovered that, there's actually, there's a next level that I could reach, and I could aspire to be a professional player as an option, as a career, then wow, I'm certainly going to strive for that. And that's exactly what I did. And I came up 13, and 3 years later, I'm playing on a professional team.
You're playing pro. Yeah, I wish we had added time for this interview, but unfortunately we're running out of time. But I want to get to something before we wrap up and just have you comment on it, because there have been some obstacles along the way. So we went into the archives, and here's what you had to say while recovering from a very serious injury.
I think I maybe appreciate the little things, as hugging my son, and eating with a knife and fork, showering myself, which changing my shoes, tying my little things, because with the injury I couldn't even do that stuff.
I believe that was in 1997. So.
Wow. I look exactly like a couple of my sons.
And so what happened there? Tell us a little bit, just briefly, about that injury that you were recovering from. You had a neck brace. It was obviously serious.
Yeah, I had a partial dislocation of the 5th and 6th vertebrae. Shout out to my mom in that video. Thank you for sharing that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Memories. Oh my. And to make a long story short, I was millimeters away from full paralysis. I basically, when I hit the ground, I was attempting a bicycle kick, and the defender pushed me while I was in the air, and I came down awkwardly and slipped my neck out. I was out for 1 full year. When I left the hospital after the second surgery, because I had 2 surgeries, I was told I was not going to play again or resume my career. I completely defied those odds through the grace of God. I played another 5 seasons and wrapped it up. So, man, thank you for sharing those videos. I had never seen those. I had never seen those videos. That's a lot
I'm so happy to share them with you. Yeah, it's always cool to go into the archives and see what we've got. Well, thank you for sharing. You've shown incredible resilience, obviously, and that injury clearly didn't stop you. So congratulations, and look forward to seeing you at the game this weekend, accepting your honor.
Thank you, Maya, and shout out to all my CTV people. I miss you guys. Thank you.
We miss you too. Just ahead, mourners head to Montreal City Hall to pay their respects to Oliver Jones. There's a public visitation underway for Oliver Jones, the legendary jazz pianist, organist, composer, and arranger born in Little Burgundy. Members of the public were invited to pay their respects at Montreal City Hall, and Christine Long was there.
Oliver Jones visited this Hall of Honor many times during his life for awards and celebrations. Today, his son Richard Jones expressed gratitude for a life well lived and loved.
Sincerely like to thank all Canadians for their love and support of my father throughout his long and illustrious career. A special thanks to the beautiful people and admirers in our great province of Quebec. You have supported my father's career for decades.
A musical son of Little Burgundy, Jones's talents were nurtured by incredible pianists like Oscar Peterson and Daisy Peterson-Sweeney. His career took him around the world, yet Jones remained a modest man.
His wonderful qualities, his humility, his kindness, and his loyalty to his friends.
Memories, emotions.
Hard to believe.
He was a great person.
Jones's own support of young talents helped nurture the next generation.
I think it's mostly thanks to him that we have so many young pianists, young jazz musicians in Montreal with such talent.
Talent like Daniel Clark Bouchard, who first played with Jones when he was 7.
Such a giving person, and always made time for people, and just a generous artist as well. Always gave his best every time he would perform, and so that always rubbed off on me and was an inspiration to me.
Jones first played piano at the Union United Church when he was very young. Thursday, That community will gather to say farewell in a public funeral service that brings his remarkable journey full circle.
I'm saddened by his loss, but I'm extremely grateful that I can come here and pay respect, because he was a humble and gracious person, and he was so much loved by Union, and Union has loved him back with the same passion. And we are just grateful that he's given so much to the Burgundy community, to the Union community.
Back to where his talents were nurtured before music would carry him to concert halls around the world. Jones died last month at the age of 91. He leaves behind a son, Richard, and his widow, Monique Leclerc. Christine Long, CTV News.
And that visitation is continuing until 7:30, Lauren. Obviously, we're keeping an eye on the weather, as I was mentioning, for people who are heading out, and they should be prepared in case of rain, I guess.
Well, it looks now like by around 6 o'clock we should be in the clear in terms of the risk of showers and thunderstorms. We will see some clearing, but only temporarily. We're expecting partly cloudy skies overnight, a low of 15 degrees, and we'll start tomorrow off at 17, a mix of sun and clouds, and that's what we're dealing with all day. Only a high of 24, but I should say this is actually right around where we should be for this time of the year. The humidity will be a little bit of a factor tomorrow. It'll feel like 27. Now, I didn't have a chance to get into a look at our longer range forecast, so here's the next 5 days. Friday, we're looking at lots of sunshine, 26 degrees, 27 on Saturday, also a sunny day. It'll feel like 32. We could see around 2 millimeters of rain. Sunday brings a risk of thunderstorms. We're looking at around 10 millimeters there. Monday, we do start the day off with 4 millimeters of rain, and our temperatures take a dip back to 21 degrees. I'll be back at 6 o'clock with a look at your longer range forecast.
Thanks, Lauren. That's it for us. Mitsumi will be here at 6 o'clock with the latest on the charges against teens who were with Nouran Rezai when he was killed by Longueuil police, and more testimony in defense of a woman accused of killing her 3 children. Now, here's Sandy Ronaldo with CTV National News.